Hello again. Could I be holding in my hand the answer to every ambitious amateur's dreams, their own personal Doppler radar and affordable? Come back in just a moment and I'll tell you my opinion on it. Welcome back. As I've been saying over the last couple of weeks, really, if you want to start practicing correctly on the driving range, you've got to now at this time of the season be forgetting about your technique and thinking more about distance control, shot making and things of that sort. But one of the main problems obviously with distance control on a driving range is how do you know whether you're hitting it a consistent distance or not? And obviously it's great for the professionals, they can stand out on the driving range with 20,000 euros worth of trapman behind them and check their distances on all their clubs to get their wedges dialed in. But if you're an amateur golfer, even an ambitious amateur golfer, that's really just usually out of your reach. That means you're going to be looking to either be eyeballing targets, lasering them up and then checking the measurements afterwards, or you've got to invest a lot of money. Now Swing Caddy have come up with maybe the solution to this problem. They call it the SC300 and it's the newest version of their voice caddy system. I tested the SC200 last year and unfortunately it didn't convince me really to make a video about it and tell you what I think, so you can imagine because of that what I'm going to tell you now, but I thought I'd rather demonstrate it to you. Now the Swing Caddy can't do everything that the trapman can do, obviously, and one of its major failings is obviously getting swing plane correctly in or face angle. These are all very, very complicated things to measure, but you've got a little Doppler radar here which is going to help you immensely with distance control, and an awful lot of the things that trapman can do is excellent if you're a coach, excellent if you're a teaching professional or a tour professional, but if you're really just looking to dial in your distances, you really don't need all this. Despite that, the Swing Caddy is still bringing in a lot of new stuff this year. That means it's giving you the apex of the shot, the highest point that the ball reaches in the flight. It's giving you the attack angle, or not, sorry, the attack angle, the launch angle of the golf ball. That's the angle at which the ball leaves the club. It's telling you the club head speed, it's telling you the carry and even the complete distance. It's telling you the spin on the ball. It's giving you an awful lot of absolutely fabulous data. But obviously none of this data is going to be any good if it's not accurate. Now, I've been working with trapman for many years now, even from the very first version of trapman, and we quite quickly were able to find a trusting relationship with one another. And although I was marking out distances on the driving range, trapman was actually confirming I was hitting them or not on a regular basis. So now I'm almost got some blind trust for him. There are, however, measurements. There's no way I can't measure the apex of the ball flight with my eyes, and I can't measure the launch angle of a ball with my eyes. So I've seen some discrepancies between the two systems on these, and it's very difficult for me to say Swing Caddy's wrong and trapman's right. But I thought it might be interesting for you to just see what kind of discrepancies there are, how much is it, and would you be willing to part with $550 or around about 500 euros for one of these systems to help you with your practice on the driving range. So we're just going to go through a quick kind of setup and hit. Whereas I'm putting the trapman around about 3 meters behind the ball, I've got the Swing Caddy. They say 5 feet, it's about 1.5 meters or something along those lines, almost just under 2 meters behind the ball, on the ball to target line. You want both systems set up also around about at ball height. You don't want them too low or too high, which can happen especially if you're hitting off mats and you stick it behind the mat and the mat is actually slightly raised. So you might get some poor figures if you do that. But otherwise they're pretty easy to look after. And I can almost say the Swing Caddy is even simpler because it comes with a little remote control. The remote control allows you to put in the mode of practice that you're going to use. It offers 2 modes of practice. One is a just simple practice mode. you put in the club you're hitting and it gives you some feedback on that. And you can also put it into a target mode where you can pick out exact targets and hit to a particular target in 5-yard increments. What's also great is it lets you change the units, so you can go into meters or feet or yards, whatever you're used to with any other measuring devices that you're using, and it will actually give you an audible feedback for the carry distance that you're hitting. By just pressing one button, you can change from club to club, and the system has got a battery which will last around about 12 hours, I believe, as the manufacturer is saying. I haven't actually got to the point where I've been hitting kind of balls for 12 hours on a driving range, so I can't tell you whether that's right. All I know is I've had this one basically out all day and it's not given me any problems. Now and again it goes into kind of a sleep mode, and I've just had to wake it up there because I've been talking too long. But you're used to that if you watch my channel on a regular basis. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of go through a few shots. We're going to start off with a pitching wedge, move up to a 7-iron, maybe hit a 3-iron or a driver, and see if we can see the differences between what the swing caddy is saying and what the TrackMan is saying. So we'll start off just simply with a pitching wedge. So that means on the remote control I do that. If I wanted to go into TPI and change the club on that to get some stats, I could do. I'm not going to do that now because I just really want to see the difference between the data I'm getting from TrackMan and the data I'm getting from the swing caddy. I haven't unfortunately got enough cameras to kind of do this live, so you're going to have to take my word for it. But I will give you some feedback in each shot. So the swing caddy's told me I've hit the ball 110 meters there, and it actually gives me a feedback quicker than the TrackMan. The TrackMan is actually following the whole ball flight, so it won't be able to tell me how far the ball's gone till it actually lands. If I look at the carry distance here, I've got 110.3 on the TrackMan, and I've got 110.6 on the swing caddy. Now that is pretty impressive. If we go into club head speed, we see a bit more variation. The club head speed, according to TrackMan, is 71.1 miles an hour, whereas it's telling me I have 76 miles an hour on the club head with the swing caddy. Ball speed is 91 miles an hour or 91.5 miles an hour on TrackMan, and I'm 93 miles an hour on the swing caddy. Again, that is a very good tolerance. Within a mile and a half an hour for a piece of equipment which is costing $500 instead of $20,000, that's quite incredible. What I have seen in deviations are launch angles and spin rates. The spin rates you actually won't see directly off the swing caddy. You have to go into an app, and I'm going to talk about the app a little bit more in a couple of minutes, but I can see here the launch angle, it says, is 35 degrees, whereas TrackMan is giving me a launch angle of 25 degrees. I've seen a lot of discrepancies in this launch angle reading, and that's something that I, to be perfectly honest, wouldn't trust at the moment. It's possible that they might be able to help you with an update, but at this time I don't think I'd be using a swing caddy for club fitting reasons, where I'm trying to dial somebody in with lofts or with shafts or with weight distribution in club heads to see what kind of launch angles they're getting. At this moment in time, it's very possible that a firmware update might be able to solve that problem, but 10 degrees difference in the launch angle for me is just a little bit too much. And again, I'm going on the TrackMan data and saying I think that's pretty good because it matches a lot of the GC quad stuff that we've seen when I've had them in direct comparison. The last thing that they give me is the apex here, so that's the highest point that the ball reaches. He's saying the apex is 119 feet. Unfortunately, I have that in as apex 22 meters or 22.4 meters. I'll see if I can get the units changed here on the system. So we've got meters there, and it says What does it say? 36 meters. Also a very big difference. Obviously, if it's measuring a different launch angle, it's going to give me a different apex. If you look at the stats on the tour players, a ball will rarely go higher than 30 meters, 31, 32 tops in yards, and that means around about 29 to 30 meters. So it's unlikely that I'm hitting a pitching wedge 36 meters high, and according to the TrackMan, I'm not. Again, I can't get a step ladder out and measure that for you, so we've got to just kind of pay our money and take our choice. Again, although the apex isn't going to help me, you'll see in the app it will show me the trajectory of the ball. And even if the launch angle and the apex aren't quite correct, what I am interested is in seeing kind of consistent trajectories in the ball. So when I actually have a look at the balls I've hit with the wedge or with the 9-9, I can actually see whether I'm getting a similar kind of ball flight on it. So again, enough talking, Jonathan. Let's get on and hit another couple of balls and see how accurate it is with the next couple. 114 meters, says Voice Caddy. 120 meters, says TrackMan. So there's a little bit of discrepancy there. There is a setting on TrackMan to normalize so that we don't have any wind airs. I have that turned on at the moment, so to a certain extent TrackMan is doing what Voice Caddy or Swing Caddy is doing, and it's also kind of thinking about it and going through the numbers and helping me out in case the wind were to take it. But there I've got a little bit too much difference between carry distance and actual distance. 97 meters, says the Swing Caddy. A 100 meters, says the TrackMan. Final chance. Let's move this one back because the TrackMan there. Voice Caddy didn't get it. TrackMan did. "97 meters, says Voice Caddy. 98 meters, says TrackMan. So let's move it up a gear. Put the wedge away, take the 7-iron out. Again, love this little bit. I'm just gonna take out my remote control, one press of a button, and he's ready to go. After I'm finished, I can synchronize this with my app and then look in detail at the shots I've hit, what kind of distances I'm hitting them, and then actually see, you know, where kind of the peaks and troughs are in my set, whether I've got good distances, distance gapping between the different irons in the bag. "144 meters, says Swing Caddy. 138, says TrackMan. "151, says Swing Caddy. 154, says TrackMan. The launch angle is 23 on Swing Caddy. The launch angle is 21 on TrackMan. So that is better. The apex is 35 and the apex, lost it again, is 21. So again, the apex and the launch angle, there's a big difference there. 146 says Swing Caddy. 138.2 says Trapman. Launch angle 23. Launch angle 17. Again, big differences on launch angle. Club head speed. Strange one there. Just give me minutes per second. Quick change of the reading. Miles an hour. 78 miles an hour says Swing Caddy. 81 says Trapman. So you've got about a 3 mile an hour difference there. That's the last one with the 7-iron, and then we'll switch to a wood. .156, so you can see I'm going to have to do a little bit more practice because I've got a lot of deviation in the 7-iron today. I'm just warming up. 158 says Trapman. I think that's really good. That's really good. So, last test, we'll switch this up to the driver. Wood one. .208 meters. Tell you, I've hit that right off the toe. It was terrible. 205 meters says Trapman. 3 meters. Pretty impressive, especially as that really was not a good swing. Let's have a quick look maybe at the launch angles and things on there. It's given me apex of 36, apex of 28 on Trapman. It's given me a launch angle of 19, a launch angle of 17 on Trapman. You can see it's kind of top toe. It's gone horrible off to the left, off to the right rather. Ah, that was better. Close to the club middle. 231 carry. 230 carry, 1 meter. Launch angle 11, launch angle 14 is a bit better. Highest apex is 18 meters against 27 meters. Club head speed is also interesting. I'm getting 102 on Trapman and I'm getting 102 on Swing Caddy. Last one. Got that one okay as well. 138 carry, 138.7 against, oh sorry, 238 against 235, 3 meters. I've got a launch angle of 15 against a launch angle of 11. I've got a club head speed of 103 on Trapman and 102 on Swing Caddy. For me, this is very good. Once I know that the thing is giving me pretty reliable results, one of the next things I'm really looking for, and one of the things that I use on the Trapman system, on what they call Trapman Go, which is an iPad kind of system, it will give me statistics of my shots, of the irons that I hit. I can set up little tests, as I showed you in another video, And this is something which you can do with the Swing Caddy as well. It's got a very nice little app system, and the app system will actually give you statistics on all the shots you've hit on the different dates. You can actually see how they're changing. It will give you the progression through the irons. It will give you your average carry distance on each individual club, and also kind of changes over time. Now, I haven't had a load of time to kind of get into that system yet, and I'm still kind of work out all of the information that's giving me, but just with a kind of a couple of days testing, I've been able to really kind of see a couple of holes in my own irons. And I was hitting an 8 iron just a couple of days ago. Didn't really feel I was getting a bad contact on it, and it was quite short compared to the others. I've gone out today and had a look at it, and there's no problems. I'm hitting the 8 iron a good kind of 10 meters further than I'm hitting my 9 iron, and 10 meters shorter than I'm hitting my 7 iron. So it's actually quite nicely sitting there in the progressions. What I have seen, if you look at the spin readings on the app, they tend to be also higher than the spin readings I'm getting on the TrackMan, irrespective of club. Almost 1,000 revolutions per minute sometimes on a drive, so that's just too much, unfortunately. Again, this rules it out really as a fitting tool for any professional fitters out there who are looking for a little cheaper alternative to a TrackMan, a quad, or even a flight scope. So for that, I can't really recommend it. But for your everyday golfer, just remember this thing is basically almost small enough to stick in your pocket. No problem at all with its weight if you pop it in the bag. Wherever you are, you can pull it out and hit a few balls before you go on the round. Dial in your distances, see whether you're hitting a bit further, a bit shorter than you were yesterday, the day before. So when you go out on the golf course, you're going to make better club making decisions. You pays your money and you takes your choice. I think this is a buy. I would go out and invest my 500 euros in it if I hadn't already gone out and spent considerably more on a TrackMan. It doesn't do everything that TrackMan does yet. It's possible that a firmware might actually improve some of the other data in comparison to TrackMan. Again, I've got to hold my hands up. I can't swear to you that TrackMan's given me just right data, but I've been using it for years and it hasn't let me down in the past. So in a complete direct comparison, there are differences, but the things that are important, ball speed, club speed, and carry distance, are very, very close to one another, and I think perfectly adequate for any amateur golfer. Hope this helps you. If it does, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Hit the little bell if you want notifications the next time I put a video online. I'll leave my philosophy on golf up here in the left-hand corner. You can download that for just 99 cents. Look forward to seeing you all very shortly. Until then, bye-bye.